here with us on Urban Debate on Mirror Now. At 8:30 p.m, our focus is how much security is enough security for Netas while the Aam Aadmi has no security. That's some convoluted tongue twister, isn't it? Well, the response we get from our Netas on why they ensure future financial security for themselves is equally convoluted. When it comes to pension and perks for themselves, Netas who claim their aim is public service are into serious self-service. In fact, viewers, in last 1 month, only your channel has raised 2 such stories on Urban Debate. One was from Karnataka, where a bill to hike salaries of MLAs and MLCs by almost 60% was passed amid ruckus in the assembly. Another one was from Kerala, the only state in the country where the personal staff of ministers become eligible for lifetime pension only after 2 years of service. But tonight, the story is slightly different. We have a case where a state government is all set to take a step which may signal reduction in self-help and foster savings for larger public good. Well, Punjab's new Chief Minister, Bhagwant Mann, it seems, is putting people first, Netas next. He has announced that Punjab's MLAs and ex-MLAs will get pension for only 1 term, irrespective of how many terms they have won. The aim is to undo the pension rule for MLAs in the state. The Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister says some MLAs get 3.5 lakh rupees, some get 4.5 lakh rupees, some even get 5,25,000 as pension. Now this is a huge financial burden on the exchequer. With this, the government of Punjab, the new government of Punjab, plans to save 80 crore rupees in the next 5 years. Currently, the pension amount for a former MLA is 75,000 rupees for 1 term. And then there is an additional 66% of the pension amount that is given for each subsequent term. Do you know that former Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal, is 11-time legislator and is entitled to get nearly 5 lakh rupees as pension. But recently, he wrote to the government saying that he is not going to accept pension as an MLA. So that's like a huge saving for the exchequer already. In 2018, Haryana passed a bill to curb excess pension of MLAs. And taking cue from the neighbouring state Haryana, Amrinder Singh's government in Punjab was also considering changing the pension policy but could never change. But better late than never, as they say. On Urban Debate, we want to ask, if Punjab can, what's stopping others? If there are good examples, should they be emulated? That's our debate at 8:30 p.m. on Urban Debate this evening. Joining us on the broadcast is Mohan Krishna of the BJP, Arshpreet Kadyal, who is spokesperson of the Congress Party and advocate Supreme Court, Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, spokesperson, Punjab Aam Aadmi Party, joining us, Hemant Attri, who is a senior journalist, also live with us on the broadcast this evening. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on Urban Debate. Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia, I want to begin the discussion with you. Yesterday, the new Chief Minister of Punjab, after meeting Prime Minister Modi, had asked for about 50,000 crore for 2 consecutive years to help the financial health of Punjab. But today, he's made this big announcement of reducing the perks of being an MLA in Punjab to save exchequers, the taxpayers' money and the burden on exchequer so that it can be reduced. What was the motivation and what is the aim really?
The main aim of this reducing was that Bhagwant Singh Mann was, when doing he was conversing for all the candidates in Punjab. So he went to all the villages and all the cities. Most of the demand of the people were, when we are getting 1 pension, why MLAs are getting so much of pensions? Such a large amount. Can you believe that people like Rajinder Kaur Bhattar, Prakash Singh Badal, Captain Amrinder Singh were getting more than 3 lakh rupees? Some were getting 6 lakh rupees. Why? When they have used, it is just like if a judicial officer is there, if he has one transfer, from one transfer to another transfer, so he or she is going to get more money whenever they are transferred. So same was the case with these MLAs. But Aam Aadmi Party decided that one MLA will get only one pension. That is approximately 75,000 rupees. Though this will also help in reducing the burden on the checker, that is 80 crore rupees for 5 years will be saved. So we are working on what people are demanding. So this is a good step and everybody is appreciating, though every party is appreciating, but they're appreciating in a different way. When you say that we have went to, the Bhagwant Singh Mann has gone to the Prime Minister, that is our right. If the federal system of the country says that state can go to the center and ask for some kind of packages for the states. But you have to understand one more thing. That is the more interesting thing is that Bhagwant Singh Mann has asked for 2 years. So the message is very loud and clear that in next 2 years, after 2 years, the Punjab state will be made self-sufficient and we are not going to borrow more money from any other states or from the center, or we are not going to ask for loans. So things are very clear, and Aam Aadmi Party is the party which decides on people, which asks the people for suggestions, and these were the people suggestions that MLA should get only one pension. And that what Bhagwant Singh Mann has done, and message is clear for all the nation. It is not only for Punjab. Other states can also copy that Bhagwant Singh Mann has done this, and others should do that.
Okay, Mohan Krishna, Punjab CM there putting people first, netas next. We haven't really seen that happening in other states in the country. In fact, a couple of days ago only we were discussing a story from Karnataka where a bill was passed amidst ruckus in Karnataka Assembly. That bill was about increasing the salaries of MLAs and MLCs, and there was no opposition on that front from any political party there. So will other states also take a cue from what Punjab is doing?
Good evening, Heena. I think Bhagwant Singh Mann, the Chief Minister of Punjab, has shown his hypocrisy in a lot of ways as soon as he assumed office. The way in which he met Prime Minister Mr. Modi and asked for the budget of 1 lakh crore rupees for 2 years, which has been boasted by the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson today, saying that for only 2 years he has just asked for it. Let me tell to the viewers and to the people here that these kind of situation has arisen because of the freebies which has been announced by the Aam Aadmi Party during the election time. Without counting what is the total income the government of Punjab is going to get and what will be the tax which will be collected and the tax compensation from the central, and all these things have not been included. I think this is the first step towards the confrontation. Electoral reforms is a very big one which has to take place in the country and which is going to happen very soon. But before that, they wanted to make a big announcement. They have made it. I would like to mention here is, there are only 129 MLAs, former MLAs, they are getting these pensions. It is not in a very big way. It is not in a big way. Just Aam Aadmi Party wanted to show to the people that they are doing good to the state and showing, because of this, they want to show that they are the model for the country. Let me ask the same question to Mr. Sunny, the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson here. Why you are crying for everything in Delhi and why it is so, again, coming back to power in Punjab now? Why you are asking for money? And the same thing for the development, why you are not able to procure your own state's taxations and your income level has to be increased. Why you have not given a thought about it? Let me tell you, we are all here for electoral reform.
BJP has called it hypocrisy. Okay.
Let me complete.
Very quickly, Mr. Mohan Krishna. Yes, so you've called it hypocrisy of the Aam Aadmi Party. Very quickly, I have to go across to other guests also.
Yes. What I would like to mention here is, just by stopping this 129 MLAs, MLAs, if you are going to make a big thing in the state, I don't think people will accept it. And across the state, people in the panel also, they can think over it. And you also can think over it. It is not, you have mentioned about Karnataka issue. Karnataka issue was different. We have 1951 Pension Act, we are following and we are doing it regularly, once in 5 years.
issue is which political party wants to indulge in self-service or public service. That was the point that I was raising, because in the last 1 month I've done two stories, two debates, one about Karnataka, one about Kerala, where the idea that we got was that the netas are more interested in doing self-service than public service. Here's one example which we've got, wherein a new chief minister has thought of keeping people first and netas next. So you call it hypocrisy. You do not really find this idea good. Arshpreet Kadyal, where do you stand on the, this idea of Punjab chief minister? Do you see it as a good example? Shouldn't other states also take a cue from what is being done?
See, I think a lot of people have missed out on this important fact that yesterday Mr. Mann went and met with Mr. Modi and he demanded 1 lakh crore rupees from him. And since there was no positive
I mentioned that, by the way.
May I just complete, because it's a chain. So once he did not get a response, he did not get a positive response yesterday. He did not get a response today. Therefore, they realized that the massive promises that have been made by them, 300 units free for electricity, 1,000 to every women above 18 every month. How do we deliver that? There is already a debt of 3 lakh crore rupees on the state's exchequer. How are we going to be able to deliver it? So that's where they have come up with this. But let me tell you one thing. It is paradoxical and hypocritical of Aam Aadmi Party, because back in the day in Delhi, they increased the salaries of their MLAs by 400%. 400% is no joke. 7, 8, 9 lakhs being put into the MLAs' pockets. That is of the taxpayers. And here they are doing away with the pensions of MLAs. So how does the Aam Aadmi Party justify this paradoxical, action, saying something, doing something? And third, they say that this money would go for the welfare of people of Punjab. We'll invest it on you. Then why are you wasting 2 crore 60 lakhs on oath-taking ceremonies? Then why are you wasting crores on advertisements? Why are you, using the front pages in entirety and paying so much money? Why do you not use that for the welfare of the people of Punjab? And fourth, we really hope that Delhi also does it. It's not just Punjab, but Delhi also, because they say that we are unified. They say that we work for the welfare of the people, and it is also justified also. Some are saying that it's been done in the self-interest of Aam Aadmi Party, because they know it for a fact. Majority of their MLAs are new.
Okay.
And majority of their MLAs are new. And after 2027, they won't even be becoming an MLA again. So it is in their interest, but not in the interest of other people. That's why they have done it. So Aam Aadmi Party, I just have one question for you. How do you justify what you did in Delhi and what you have done in Punjab, the 400% raise there and reducing the pension of MLAs there?
Just I will add one sentence, Heena.
I'll get the Congress Party, I'll get the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson to respond to that. 1 second, Mr. Mohan Krishna, 1 second. Hemant Attri, it rarely happens that spokespersons of BJP and Congress are agreeing with each other. We saw that happening just now, because everything that the Congress spokesperson on the show, Mr. Arshpreet Kadyal was talking about, Mr. Mohan Krishna was nodding in agreement, and he seemed pretty happy as well with his arguments. But, coming back to the point here, what do you have to say about the decision that has been taken? Do you also feel that it's hypocrisy as being claimed by both BJP and the Congress on the show?
No, Heena, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for taking up such a great issue, which is of utmost public importance in the going circumstances. That is point number 1. Please accept it. Number 2, and the most important thing is, well begin, as they say, well begin is half done. The way Mr. Bhagwant Mann has started working. See, in this country, we are governed by a law, by a constitution. And what is that? Law of equality. A person who puts in 35 to 40 years of his service in the service of nation, so any employee for that matter in the country, doesn't get a single penny in the name of pension, except for the 1,500, 2,000 rupees, whatever they earned through NPS, new pension scheme that we call. That's what they call. Now, imagine, first thing I would like to correct something also. This 80 crore rupees is annually, not 5 yearly. In 5 years, Bhagwant Mann will be saving 400 crores of rupees. Now, I would like to come back to the point. See, all these politicians from any political party, for what they come into the politics, they always claim while electioneering that they are here to serve people. If you are there to serve people for a limited number of time, say about 5 years for every term, why they should be given pension? Service. This is a service, public service. If a government employee, after putting in 35 to 40 years of service, doesn't get a penny, or he gets NPS, why not these MLAs and MPs get NPS, new pension scheme, if it's such a good thing? Number one. And number two, unfortunately, what the BJP and Congress people are saying, that is what the true hypocrisy is. In a state like Punjab, or for that matter in any state, like Haryana, what they did from 2016 onwards, every MLA will get maximum of 1 lakh pension. And prior to that, till say about 2014, there are many people who are getting more than 5 lakhs of pension. See, a sitting president of this country, who is the highest functionary, gets a salary of 5 lakh rupees a month. And an ex-MLA or MP for that matter. And these pensions are counted for every term of MLA and every term of MP. So is there any law of equality? What else hypocrisy is? And why at all in the first place they should be paid a pension? And if they are entitled for a pension, why not all the government employees? My question is simple. The thing is, you have to differentiate between public service and government service. Tell me one thing, how many days a legislative assembly works in Punjab? Or for that matter in Haryana? Not more than 1 month in the whole year. And they are paid 18 rupees per kilometer as TADA. And let me tell you something very shocking that I have been observing for last 25 years of my journalistic career. Always and ever, you can match my dates. I'm challenging it on this show. All these assembly sessions, they will always start on Friday. MLAs will go back to their places. They might be staying there. And they will again be claiming that 18 rupees per kilometer TADA for the next visit, which is commencing on Monday. See what the hypocrisy is. In the name of legislating, you are running a parliament or an assembly for 1 month in a year or for maybe 2 months. And what they are getting in turn. This is what hypocrisy is, Heena. And that's why I congratulated you for taking up such a great issue. And this country wants these answers. It may be Congress, BJP, but I would like to congratulate Mr. Bhagwant Mann. And I will really further appreciate him if he does away with all these pensions. If the employees of the state are not getting pension.
Those are some pertinent points you have raised, Hemant Atri.
Yeah.
We'll get BJP and the Congress party to respond to that. But before that, let's get Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia to respond to what BJP and Congress had to say. They've called it hypocrisy. How will you respond, Dr. Sunny Ahluwalia?
This is, though we are repeating this again and again, that Congress and BJP are A and the B team. But for the first time on the mirror now, they have made it clear that how they are supporting each other. Now they are saying that BJP, Congress is saying that Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi has increased their salary. You will be shocked to know, the spokesperson of Congress, I'm saying to you, that salary of MLA in Delhi is 90,000. Of Punjab MLA is 2,30,000. If you say by increasing 400%, the salary has become 90,000, how you will justify? Why you are misguiding people on whole? I know you will not agree. I know you will not agree because you have one agenda that they want to blame for everything. Whatever happened in India, the problem is that Arvind Kejriwal has done something wrong. Now the Bhagwant Singh Mann is leading Punjab and they are shocked. Why the most effective people on this Punjab are going to be MLAs from Congress. The Rajinder Kaur Bhattal, their ex-chief minister, their Captain Aninder Singh, Manpreet Singh Badal, everybody is going to get affected. So now they have these kind of problems. When we talk about BJP, they are not going to, they will never appreciate. Rather, they should do this in their states. In Haryana, the peer states which are nearby, they can always follow this, but they will not agree. Why? Because they are only there to rule people. They are not here to help people. They are not here to make laws for the betterment of people, but they are here to make laws for betterment of ministers and for MLAs and for their families.
Okay. Okay, closing comments. Ashpreet Khadial first and then Mohan Krishna.
Right. So Mr. Ahluwalia seems pretty confused there because he's forgotten the fact that when 400% salary was raised of the MLAs, there was massive criticism that happened. The Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi unit was condemned by, almost everybody because
But you said it is increased.
clearly.
You
And
said it is
then,
increased.
and then kindly hear me out. Kindly hear me out. Do not make it your Vidhan Sabha. So what happened was that you probably took it back, and what you're saying right now is that the salary of Delhi MLAs is only 90,000. You're probably not adding the DAs and the other perks. So please add them up, and you'll be surprised to see it'll probably be more than 2 lakhs.
You can check.
Third thing that I want to talk of is. Let alone Mr. Ahluwalia, Mr. Raghav Chadha was given an interview to a regional channel, and he was asked about his salary as an MLA back in the day. So he said it's only around 20, 30K allegedly. So that goes on to suggest how Aam Aadmi Party can lie and how, they get away with it. They do illegal things legally, and therefore they think that nobody would see through it, nobody would get to know about it. But let me clarify one thing. Aam Aadmi Party has
Okay. Dr. Ahluwalia.
They have been paranoid.
Dr. Ahluwalia, let him complete his point. Okay. Dr. Ahluwalia, let him complete his point.
Thank you. Mr. Ahluwalia, let me kindly, because you've already done a lot of that in the Vidhan Sabha. So I hope you won't snub people here. So all I'm saying is that Aam Aadmi Party has been hypocritical. On one hand, they talk of welfare, and on the other hand, they waste the expenditure. They rather waste the money in unnecessary expenditures. How does the Aam Aadmi Party explain the advertisements, the branding, the marketing, the money they give to all these outlets? On one hand, you say we need money for the welfare of the people of Punjab. There's a big debt that we have on us. And on the other hand, you're spending it. 2.60 crore is unprecedented.
Well, all that is happening, but simultaneously, Mohan Krishna, another step has been taken by Punjab Chief Minister, the new Chief Minister of Punjab, to, in a way, help the people, help reduce the burden on the exchequer. Specifically, if we look at this particular step that has been taken, don't you think this is something that other states can also consider?
No, I don't think so, Heena, because Prakash Singh Badal, who is the 11th-time MLA, he has done this actually. It's like Modi ji called for the gas cylinders, give it up. So the same way, there was a give it up issue program done by SAD, which was a ally of a BJP. There are lots of examples. And taking the points from Mr. Atli, what he was making. I would like to say that from the Punjab, the Haryana government has taken the cue. For that, they have fixed it as 1 lakh as the maximum thing. Instead of doing this in Punjab, they had an eye on the small issue and to make it a big one. They failed it actually in this issue. They failed it.
Okay.
Because they have
Okay.
He has just announced
Okay.
it. He has just announced it. Let me complete. Just give me 10 seconds. He has just announced it. But he has not said anything that how he is going to bring the money for the social freebies he has announced. Is he going to ask
Okay, important points you've raised. Of course, we'll be tracking this story very, very closely ahead as well. But for the moment, gentlemen, I'm completely out of time. I appreciate all of you for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. We'll, of course, be tracking this very, very closely ahead as well.